Okay, recording. I'm Mary Catherine. I am going to mute all of you because, where is it? Okay, I'm muting all of you. Okay, let's get started. I'm Mary Catherine. I am the leader of Team Heartstrong, and I am excited to be on the mentorship calls today. I've been a coach for about 4.5 years. I started off just for the discount. We haven't heard that before, right? And I just fell in love with what the products were doing for my body, for my health, and I kind of caught the FOMO. I was like, wait, if she can help somebody, like I want to help somebody too. And it just grew from there. So this is going to be an open Q&A. If you guys are new to these calls, I'm new to these calls. They're just open Q&A for you guys to ask anything at all. But one thing I did want to talk about, especially for y'all who are newer coaches, is kind of setting business hours. This is something that I heard so many times over and over as a new coach, but I never really put into practice because I was like, I don't stay at home. I don't need to have business hours. Like I work in like the little pockets or after work or before work, but I found that I was getting burnt out. I found that I was going to the bathroom at work just to like reply to a message, and I worked in healthcare. So like, you just don't get a break. And I just did not understand what business hours meant. So I think it's so important so that you avoid burnout. And because when I find myself setting business hours, I'm 100 times more efficient in that pocket of time rather than being spread out and sporadic all day long. So the biggest thing for me, I wake up early before my kids. I know every other Beachbody coach and your mom tells you this, and I didn't listen to it for so long. I avoided reading the Miracle Morning for 2 years, because I didn't want to wake up early. But I wake up early, I do my PD, and I kind of get my day straight. I send invites first thing in the morning from people that watched my stories yesterday. And that's kind of like my 30 minutes in the morning, my first power pocket to get my day on track. Then I literally unplug until nap time. During nap time, whether it's 30 minutes or 2 hours, that is all dedicated work time for me. And then again, I put my phone down, and then I'll have like a 30-minute pocket at night. But being unplugged during those hours in between is so vital. A message is not going to it's not going to go away. It's going to be there. So if you don't answer it for 24 hours, it's okay, because if you're trying to answer a message within 5 minutes of it coming into your inbox, you're going to go crazy, and you just don't need to. Okay. Something that someone told me a while back is, what are you showing to a potential coach? If I am answering their message within 5 minutes, I'm showing them that I'm always on my phone. And nobody wants to be always on their phone, right? You as a new coach did not sign up to do this, to be always on your phone and be available at the drop of a hat. And I'm not available at the drop of a hat. So showing that to potential coaches is like a turnoff, right? Okay. So off my soapbox, we can get a little more into what I do in those power pockets if you guys want, but I just kind of want to open it for open Q&A first. I'm comfortable with silence, so we'll sit here, you guys. I know you hopped on this call for some questions. Let's go. Do you guys know how to unmute yourself, or?
I have a question, but it doesn't have to do with like the business hours. Is that fine?
Sure.
I'm trying to think of a way to like I don't even know what my question is. Do you have like something that you put in like the link in your bio that's like something that gives them like all the ways they can get involved? Like you can get in a challenge group, you can coach, you can join Morning Meltdown, and like has like everything all at once where they can see it? Like, is there some way where I can, does that make sense? It's not
Yes.
a real question. It's a very
So
open-ended.
right now, I just have a tiny URL to my Morning Meltdown 100 group, but I also use Linktree. It's something that a lot of people use. I kind of go back and forth, just switching things in and out. But in my Linktree, I have like a link to a free meal plan. If I have a free group, I'll like move that to the top. I have one like sneak peek into coaching, or any of my Google forms are linked in that Linktree. So they click the Linktree and it kind of pulls up all the different tabs that they can choose.
Okay, so you think it's better to do like a different link for each thing instead of having one place they go to see all the different options, if that makes sense?
No, so that is the Linktree. So my Linktree is one link. They click it and then it goes to all their options.
No, I know. Yeah. It's okay. Just, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
Okay, anybody else? Questions?
So I have a question about how you were talking about, your little pockets of time, because I feel like that's kind of what I have to do too. I'm like you, I'm in healthcare, so I really only have like my early morning and then like maybe an hour after I get home before my kids are home. And so I'm trying to find a way to be like super productive during those little pockets, but I'm sort of feeling like I'm not quite there yet. I'm wondering how long would you say on average you spend actually like connecting before you like initiate an invite? Like how much time do you dedicate to that?
So it depends for every conversation. When I was a new coach, this is the thing that scared me the most. I didn't want to turn people off. And so I was like, oh, I have to like really know the depths of their heart before I invite them. And so I would spend weeks. And then by the time I invited them, they're like, oh yeah, I just signed up with so-and-so. And I was like, oh my gosh, for real? So now I will send a message. They're already watching me. They followed me. I sent a message, just kind of asking, hold on, Megan, I'm going to mute you for a second because there's a lot of background noise. I will send a message like my kind of go-to, hey, thanks for following me. This is what I hope you find on my page, yada, yada, where are you from? Once they tell me where they're from, I kind of ask, what do you do for a living? How old are your kids? Something like that. And then I'll just come out and freaking say, oh, like, cool, are you into fitness too? Like, it's not weird. They should see from your page that you're into fitness. If you don't show any fitness stuff in your stories or on your page, then that's a weird question to ask. But if your posts are about health and about fitness and about whatever other of those 5 buckets that are of your life, it's not weird to be like, hey, are you into fitness too? So I've just kind of like, and that will come like within the first 5 to 10 back and forth messages. 10 would be like a long time for me. It's usually like right in the very beginning. Does that help, Megan?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a nurse. I'm a postpartum nurse.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry. That's all the background noise. I'm on the way to work.
I could tell. I could hear the traffic. And now your blinker. Okay, anybody else? Emily, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just kind of bouncing off of what Stephanie had said. I know she was asking about having like one place, and I have Linktree on my Instagram. But is there like a good way just to have like one standard, like generic, like interest form on there? Because honestly, I forgot that I had one on there, and it's still the one from like the beginning of the summer. So I like a way to like keep it just a generic one so that there's always something for them to go to that doesn't look like it's outdated and you forgot about it like I did.
So I use the same form and just change it every time. Unless there's a launch. Like my morning meltdown form is different, but otherwise I just have a general challenge group form and I'll change the name. Strong for summer, fit for fall. And that way I don't have 100 forms that I have to keep up with, but I have one form, and whether they filled it out in January or they're filling it out in August, I have all those responses, and that helps me with my follow-ups too. Like I can go back to see who filled out my form but never signed up for the challenge pack or a group of mine. So I just kind of change the name, change the little description, like if it has names or whatever, and leave it in there.
Okay, and then what about like a coach interest form? Because like personally, I'm one of those people that if I want to jump into something, like when I'm ready to do it, I just want to like jump on there and do it instead of waiting until like maybe someone like posted like one time every couple of weeks for like a coach invite kind of thing. Is there a good form to use for that?
I have like a coach application, new Coach Mentorship application too, that I also have in there. And I find it very rare that anyone fills out that form for me without me inviting or something else to it. Like it's very rare that I get someone that's like, oh, let me click this link on her bio. Oh yeah, I think I want to coach. That would be like Christmas for me. So it doesn't happen all that often, but I have the Instagram page that I made for coaching, and I kind of direct people to there. And that's for you to use too. Like I would tell your people, hey, like go check out this. Or I've also encouraged all of my coaches to make like a 3 to 5 minute coaching in a nutshell video. And that's what I like to send to people, like, hey, I think you'd be great at this. I made a short little video, just kind of like what I do in a nutshell. Would you check it out? And then I send them that. And then if they're like, oh yeah, that looks super interesting, I'm kind of interested, then I send them to my Instagram, or I send them that form. And I can share that form with you. Just send me a message and I'll share it, and you can make it a copy for you. Questions? Ashley, is this what you guys do on this call? Just sit here until somebody asks a question? Okay.
Yes. That's why we're always like, it helps if you come with something you want to talk about, which I heard your business hours thing and was like, dude, mic drop. I wish I had learned how to do that sooner.
The worst.
I sucked at that when I started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can talk forever. You guys just probably don't want to hear me talk forever. I mean, I'll sing until somebody asks a question. That would be fun.
I'm trying to look back through our thread to like find some of the questions that people had, because they were like rolling in while I was at work the other day, and so I'd like come back to chart something and look at my phone, like, oh, those are good questions. So I'm gonna try to like look back through those.
Okay, Lacey. So I have been getting new followers, but it's not like everyday people. It's people who already have 15K followers and have their own businesses or whatever. I'm having a hard time finding people. Okay. Yeah, I don't message those people because they likely want to sell me something, unless they look like they're kind of my people. And then I will, like, you know, what the heck? I don't have anything to lose. I'll shoot them a message, see if they respond. For finding people, we just talked about this on my live work session last night. And I usually go to a blogger, a page, a product that I really like. So Lululemon or Target, like a Target Moms something. Like there's like a page called Whoa Wait Walmart, and it's like all these Walmart cute deals or something. Or a blogger that I've followed for years. Okay, so I go to their page. I look at who's commenting on like one of their more recent posts that kind of resonates with me, and I'll look at who commented on it, and I'll engage with those people, and that's who I try and follow. Some of them are going to be private. You can follow and see if they follow back. Some of them are going to be other big bloggers, so I probably wouldn't follow them. But if you go through, like they should have like 100, maybe more comments on their pictures. That's a lot of people you can weed through and maybe even follow 50 of them. Another idea that someone on my team called one of my diamonds said yesterday, and I loved this. She was like, I go to my challengers pages. So like if you have a new challenger that month and she's engaging with their followers and the people that are liking their posts. Now you can get into muddy water if you think that challenger will be a coach, and then now you've like invited their entire warm market. But you can kind of like, you're not inviting all their friends, right? But even if it's like an old friend from high school that, I don't know, you haven't talked to in a while, or a friend, I don't know. You can just go to people that they don't have to be these huge Instagrammers. You can go to friends of friends and kind of go down the rabbit hole. Another thing I really like to do is if I do go to a post and I see Ashley's comment and I go to Ashley's page and I look at her post and I'm engaging on her post, then I look at who's commenting under Ashley's post and then I click one of them. And then I go to their page and I look at their post and then I see who's commenting under their post. And then so it's like I'm just going down this stair step, down this rabbit hole. And by the time I'm deep in there, I don't know I don't know how I'm connected to this person, but who cares, right? I'm adding to my network. Do you engage with them on the post where you found them, or add them and try and engage from that point? So if I am searching Lululemon, which might not be the best one, but take it as an example, Lululemon, and I find somebody under there. Say Ashley commented, sorry, Ashley, I'm using you a lot. Ashley commented under Lululemon. I don't engage right there. I engage on Ashley's page because I don't want to be like this weirdo who's like looking through all of Lululemon's comments. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. So I would go engage on Ashley's page. I would like a couple of her pictures. I'd comment on one. That's one way to do it. Or if I'm just trying to like go for speed, I will just mass follow. Whoever follows me back, that's when I'll engage. So there's kind of two different ways, and I kind of alternate between them. You got to kind of find what's going to work for you. Does that help? I don't even know who asked that.
And whenever you say that you, like after they follow you back, whenever you just do like a mass following like that, do you go back and engage, meaning like you go and like some of their pictures and comment on one of them? Or you mean like you send them a message like, hey, thanks for following me back? I just feel kind of weird being like, hey, I followed you. Thanks for doing the favor back. Like, what's appropriate or like not awkward?
If they follow me, I send them a message, 100%. And it's the same message every time. It's in the shortcuts of my Instagram, like texting. And it says, I'll read it to you. Let's see. It's also saved in my notes section on my phone. It says, hey girl, I just noticed, and usually I try and say like their name. So, hey Emily, I just noticed you started following me and I wanted to introduce myself. I'm MK. I live in Florida with my husband and 2 girls. I was an occupational therapist, former athlete, but now I'm a mom who loves fitness and helping others reach their health goals. I love keeping mom life real, as I'm sure you can see from my page. I hope you find inspiration, encouragement, and laughs on my page. Where are you from? That's even kind of long. You could condense that and but there are usually I don't have the people that are like, I just followed you back because you followed me first. It's rare. Like most people aren't rude. Like they followed you. You followed them first, but who cares? They liked what they saw, so they followed you back. It's not weird. There's a lot of things in coaching in the beginning that seem really weird. And now that I'm like so far in, I'm like, yeah, it's not weird. It's not weird. Eat the frog. Got to eat it. Another thing I struggle with is I'm not able to purchase new products yet. So I don't know if I should talk about the things I haven't tried. I think you there's certainly people on your team that you can talk about, like MK uses Energize every day. She's a busy mom of 2. This has really helped her, yada, yada, yada. But I do think the best way is personal experience. But if you can't, you can still talk about them because you have a whole team of people and someone's used it and someone's gotten results and someone has a testimony about it, right? I don't think I think it'd be cool even if you reached out and was like, hey, Lacey, you love hydrate. Could you make me a 30-second video of like why you drink hydrate every day? And then you could put that in your stories. Like, hey, this is my friend Lacey. She's loving this product. It's good for blah, 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 blah. Whatever.
Hi.
My headband up like I can hear it better.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm in the UK and I'm finding a lot of kind of apprehensions of people joining. Do you have any UK coaches? And if so, what strategies are they using? Because even in the corporate UK hub, people are always talking about how the UK market is different, it's different. But how is it different and how can I adapt it so it works for me? Do you see what I'm saying?
So this would not be my area of expertise, but what objections are you getting? Like, why do you feel, what are people telling you is the reason they don't want in?
I just don't think they understand it. They don't understand. I mean, I've got a few challenges and I've got one business builder and the ones that when they're in, they're in. You know, they're loving it. They love the community aspect. They're loving the workouts. They love the products. But it was actually getting them in. It was a challenge. It wasn't easy. They just don't understand. You know, they really don't understand the concept. And because I'm hearing so much of, it's the UK market is so different. I'm not sure if I'm starting to believe that myself. But if it is different, how is it different?
Yeah, that I don't know. But the advice I can give you is so you're saying it's hard to get people in, but once they're in, they love it. So my question would be, are you showing a lot of what it means to be in your group? So like, are you screen sharing as you're checking into your group at night on the Challenge Tracker app or on Facebook or wherever you run it? Are you posting like screenshots of things your challengers are saying? Are you posting their transformations? Are you giving me, if I'm watching you, I hear you talk about this group, these workouts, but I want to see how that actually looks in your stories. So are you doing that?
Because I've only got 5 people in my in my little circle, I feel like I'm constantly shouting out the same people and people are going to be like, okay, like, yeah, so I do it. And bless them, they shout me out all the time. Like, oh, that's the best coach ever, blah, 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 blah. But I just feel like it's always the same people that I'm shouting out because it's only 5 of us all together.
I think that's okay. I think no one sees every story you post. And it also shows that like they're in it for the long haul. Another thing that, I mean, I'm not the best person to ask for UK advice. So I would definitely ask in the bigger team thread or the big team inspiration page. But I would definitely be talking and like giving them that 30-day money back guarantee. Like, hey, like I know you're hesitant, but I promise you everyone who's joined this was super hesitant and they've loved it. If you don't, you can return it all. You can get your money back. No worries, but I really think you would love this. So, but other than that, I don't have much advice to give because I don't know how the UK market's different. I'm just not the best person to.
Yeah, and today actually my post ever where I did say there's a 30-day money back guarantee, because I feel like because it is so new here, people don't understand it. They're like, oh, okay, what's this about? Do you know what I mean? And £150 for most people, they're like, oh, that's a lot of money, because they don't understand what it is. But I take your advice and just share more of the community and share more of what it actually is that they get, I guess.
And talk about what you used to do before. So like for me, I never wanted to work out at home. I was an athlete, but I would go to the gym. I'd spend 2 hours. I'd structure my whole day around what class I wanted to take. So like taking that and saying, this is how, like, I know it's traditional to go to a gym, but now I save this much time. Or I would go to the gym alone. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd come home from work exhausted because I wasn't like doing this for myself. And now I can do this at home with the community in less time with the same results, kind of like speaking to their objections, right? So taking what's normal in the UK or what they don't understand about it, one aspect at a time, and kind of breaking it down.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. We probably have time for like one other question. I'll address something. So one of the girls in my team asked me, how do you plan your posts? Or I'm spending like 30 minutes in the morning trying to craft a post for the day. I go on Sundays and I kind of plan out my week. So like Monday, I want something shorter, motivational. Maybe I want to hit a pain point for those people going back to work or the people that are stressed out on a Monday morning. Or I just want to speak to like, hey, start your Monday off right. So that's kind of my vibe on Mondays. Tuesdays is a transformation. So I kind of go through on a Sunday and kind of plan out my posts. Like I know I'm going to make spaghetti squash lasagna Wednesday night, so I want to share about it Thursday, whatever you want to do. But that way I have a plan and I don't wake up and I'm like, oh gosh, what am I going to post today? I also have a note section in my phone of new posts. And every time a post comes to me, which is usually in the shower, which is really weird, I write it out. Like I actually spend time on the weekends writing. I am not a writer. I don't have some amazing gift with words. I just kind of write it out. And then I have like posts to pull from. Like, oh gosh, I don't know. This week is coming up and I don't know what I'm going to post on Wednesday. I can go to my new post bank and be like, yeah, I want to share that one. So kind of having that bank, sometimes it'll be like inspired by a quote from my PD. If you're not doing PD, that's the first issue. You're not going to have anything to pour out if you're not being filled up. But I definitely plan my posts every single week. And I don't always stick to the plan because something happens in the middle of the week. And I'll post about it, but it at least helps me feel like I don't have to wake up and search for 30 minutes of what I'm going to talk about today. All right, so I think the next wave of coaches are hopping on, and now I'm going to stop the recording.